Hi everyone. For our math message today, there's two different ways you can do this. If you have access to page 235 in the Math Masters, then use that paper. If not, I'm going to help you create what's on that paper. So pay attention as I show you what you're going to do. You're going to cut out the three circles, add dotted lines, and cut along the dotted lines. And then we're going to record some names for those pieces. But I'm going to go through each one of those steps with you right now. Okay, so first of all, I have to make three circles. And you'll do the same. So I need you to find a piece of paper and something that you can trace the bottom of that has a circular bottom. I just took this container I have in my office, and you could use a cup or a bowl or, anything you can find that you'll be able to trace three of on a piece of paper. So I did that already. I laid it down on the paper, and then I drew a line around the outside. I traced along the outside, and I ended up with these three circles. That's step number one. So go ahead and do that. You can pause my video while you go and take care of that step. Remember, if you have the paper from page 235 of the Math Masters, you'll already have these three circles and you won't have to follow these steps. Okay, so now it's time for step number two. Take one of the circles and you're going to draw a dotted line right across the middle. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm doing that on my paper right now. And this is what I did. I only did that to one of my circles. My other two circles still look the same. Only one of my circles did I draw a dotted line across the middle. Go ahead and pause the video while you do that. Okay, now this is the last thing we have to do to prepare ourselves. You're going to take another one of the circles, not the one you already drew on, but a different one, and you're going to do a dotted line going across it, like this. So now what I have is I have two with dotted lines going across, and one that doesn't have anything on it. Do you see that? Then you're going to go across the other way. And let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so now what do we, this is the finished product of what I want it to look like. One plain circle with nothing on it. One circle with a dotted line going across. And one circle with a dotted line going up and down. And one going across. So go ahead and make sure your paper looks like my paper, and you can pause my video while you get yourself there. Now that you've done that, we're going to cut out our shapes. When you cut out your shapes, you're going to cut out along the outside. Oops, I'm having a hard time doing it. Can't do this without looking. Cut along the outside. But you're also going to cut along the dotted line. I'm going to cut my pieces out and show you how I cut them out. The first piece I cut out is my whole circle. You might remember this from previous lessons. When it's the entirety, it's the whole circle. That's piece number one that I cut out. Now I'm going to cut out the piece with the dotted line down the middle. I have this circle, this whole circle, and I'm going to cut it in half. That should be familiar language to you now as well. So I have two halves of the circle. If I put them together, they become the whole circle. This is one half, one of two, and this is two of two. When they come together, they're a whole circle, but apart they are two halves. And now I'm going to cut out the third circle. And you probably are already remembering the language that goes with this. So I'm going to pause the video. You can even pause the video and cut yours out while I'm cutting out mine. Now I have my circle that has the two dotted lines going across the middle. So first I'm going to cut my circle in half. And I have 1/2, 2/2, just like I did before with this one. But now I'm going to cut it again because I have 2 more dotted lines, don't I? And I'm going to cut it into quarters or fourths. And I'm going to end up with 4 pieces, fourths. I have 1/4, 2/4, 3, and 4. And if I put them together, 2 of the pieces together, I can have, I'm going to hold them kind of together and we can see here they are and they would make a whole circle, right? But 4 pieces are fourths. All right, so I want to make sure you cut out all 3 circles like I did. Just to remind you, you're going to have a whole circle. You should have 2 halves of the circle. And you should have 4 pieces making up the 4/4 of the circle. So 3 circles cut apart like that. Go ahead and make sure you get all of that done before you go to our next video.